So Brian, is it S.T.E.A.M the future of education? And if it is, why?
S.T.E.A.M the future of education. I think S.T.E.A.M is important. I don't want to, I teach science and math. I don't want to call it the future. I think the humanities has been, needs to be, and is the future. And it's the center of what education should be about. It's a human process. Humans are at their best when they're making, doing, learning, teaching, and so we need to get kids involved in that process. And all of the subjects fit under, in my mind, all of the subjects fit under the realm of humanities. And so I think humanities is the future of education.
They invited us to be part of the community in a way that totally shocked me. They asked if we wanted to publish papers and make actual astronomical observations.
Teachers, they've been talking here about how their reputation is getting weaker and weaker as the time passes because kids, they don't admire them anymore, and as a consequence, they stopped dreaming about becoming teachers too in the future. How can we change that?
Yeah, the deprofessionalizing of education and of the teaching profession is one of the biggest issues in the profession right now. It's happening worldwide, but certainly in the U.S. it's the same issue. We're not paid enough. The work is extraordinarily difficult, and it's in a lot of ways politicians and people outside of the school try to teacher-proof what you're doing. They want to give you the curriculum, give you like the standards that you have to teach to, and there's no inventive sort of creativity to it anymore. And I think that's why kids pick up on everything that's going on. So if they are behaving that way, it's because of structures we're creating. So we need to remove those. We need to free up teachers and treat them like doctors, lawyers, engineers. We need to allow them to invent and create. And I think project-based learning is one method that could be powerful. I think also doing the critical pedagogy of really looking with a critical lens at what schools are doing and how we might create better structures within them will help. And certainly give the teachers the freedom, take away the silly tests, and let teachers do what they know how to do, which is get to know the students and go about constructing society.
Obviously, a NASA program would not work without rockets, so we started that project. And it started with my buddy showing up at a bar in the summer after we launched the first balloon and saying, we should do this. And he showed me a video of these amateur rocket scientists that launched.
So you said you've learned a lot from and with your students. And I know that in S.T.E.A.M system, teacher works as the guide during the whole process. How is it possible to perform both roles, the mentor and the apprentice?
Oh, well, I always start out in the mentor role, typically. The goal is for students to surpass me. That is the goal every semester with every student I work with. So you start off with an idea of this thing you want to do. The teacher's got to go do it first, so I always go practice. I'll go do the photography first, I'll go do the astronomy, whatever the project is, I'll go do it first. And then my goal is by the end of the semester or the time of working together, the student has surpassed me and they're teaching me. And in many cases that does end up being, not always, it's a messy, difficult thing to do, but when it's working well, students are moving past me. Certainly with things like the rocket project that I shared, most students who are doing the technical work of constructing it know more about that job than I do. And that empowers them then to come and tell me what they need. The film that I showed a piece of about the Colorado River, the students listed the other teacher and I as field trip drivers because they really saw themselves as the people who did the work. They were the documentary filmmakers. We were the people that helped them get to where they needed to get to. And I think when students are empowered that way, and this goes back to your last question, when students are empowered that way and they see the teacher as kind of in this role of service and helping, the relationship then kind of takes care of itself, and the respect thing kind of takes care of itself.
Who worked for the Hoover and the Glen Canyon Dam, because we came back downriver through Arizona. We stopped at the Grand Canyon. And then we spent a lot of time in the Imperial Valley, this community where the food is grown, where Mike is from, learning about the issues from the folks.
I've seen the accent pictures you showed us. it's clearly a round and blue surface. But here in Brazil, we still have people who claim that planet Earth is flat. So what do you, as an expert in astronomy, have to say to them?
We have people in the United States that claim the Earth is flat, and I think it's an indictment of the education system. I think it's okay to be skeptical. I am skeptical. I'm 99%, 99.9999% sure the Earth is round. It's okay to have a slight bit of skepticism. It's when you are claiming the opposite of all the evidence we've ever collected that it becomes problematic, because your worldview isn't in line with what is happening on the planet. And that's how we end up with a situation like we have now, where CO2 levels and greenhouse gases are kind of running out of control and, poisoning the health of our ecosystem for us and other earthlings. So I think that's something that we need to pick that up as teachers, as educators. We need to bring those things in and critically look at them with all of the information available. That's the nice thing about the modern world, is we have access. I have access to the entire history of information right here. And so we can look at it all, and it can be all there for critical analysis.